Welcome back to Odyssey News. I am Mike Odyssey, and in today's video we have just one story, but it has to do with the Switch 2 and a feature that is crucial for every single Nintendo Switch player, and it has to do with backwards compatibility. Let's go ahead and start the video.
Welcome to the Odyssey. Hit the like, press play. You're running with the squad like Xenoblade. Drive like Murray.
Before we get into the story, guys, I want to remind you that tonight we have a live podcast here on the channel where we will be discussing yesterday's Pokemon Presents, Nintendo Switch 2, and a lot more. So don't forget to subscribe. Make sure that bell is turned on so you don't miss that live stream notification. All right, this news comes to us by MyNintendoNews.com, and let's go ahead and read here. Take-Two CEO talks backwards compatibility on next-gen system. All right, game industry has had the chance to chat with Take-Two CEO Stratos Zelnick, who recently announced the acclaimed Red Dead Redemption on the Nintendo Switch later this month as a full-price release. Here's what he said when he was asked about how important backwards compatibility was and if having backwards compatibility or the lack of backwards compatibility could be a negative thing on the publishers. So I'm not sure. You need to give consumers what they want and optimizing the experience, and you cannot deliver a feature you're able to deliver as to maximize sales. This isn't fulfilling the contract with consumers. You have to do the very best you can for them. I suppose it is possible that the lack of backwards compatibility could enhance your revenue for a short period of time, but at what cost? We're not a hardware manufacturer, so we don't get that information. But I think if you can be compatible technically, then you want to be. So basically, he's stating that if you can be compatible, then you really want to be. Goes on to say, however, in certain instances, if the leap forward is great enough, that's not a possibility. So what he's stating is that if the leap when it comes to technology from one console to another is great enough, right? The Nintendo Switch 2 is just far more advanced when it comes to the technology they're using, the system they're using, the software they're using, then sometimes it's just not an option for companies like Nintendo, PlayStation, and Sony to make this happen for consumers as much as they want to. So this makes a lot of sense, right? This makes a lot of sense. I know he can't really speak when it comes to backwards compatibility since they are not a hardware company, they are a software company. But you cannot argue that this man has to know something. Now, Red Dead Redemption, that's really a tongue twister, is coming to the Nintendo Switch at full price. I agree with the price. I know that's a big debate out there. But the fact that this game is making it over to the Nintendo Switch, a highly acclaimed game, is making it over to the Nintendo Switch, and Take-Two is a major company out there. Take-Two is a AAA company coming to the Nintendo Switch. I'm sorry, but you can't tell me this company does not have in their hands one of these dev kits that are out there, and I am pretty sure that he already knows that backwards compatibility is a thing. Hint at backwards compatibility on the Nexus system is the game releases that we are getting this late in the life of the Nintendo Switch. If we are definitely getting a Nintendo Switch 2 next year, then the games like Mario Wonder, games like that new Princess Peach game, which I'm sure is going to be a multi-million seller, and games like Luigi's Mansion Dark Mood being ported to the Switch, Metroid Prime 4, all these games, they have to mean something. They just can't die with the Switch. They have to move forward. And to me, this is a huge sign that backwards compatibility will be a thing. I don't think these games will be just ported to the Switch 2 or have a deluxe version added. I think these games are going to be fully compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2. Another little instance that points to a Nintendo Switch 2 is that one of the leaks out there points to Nintendo still keeping the cartridge inside Nintendo console, so you will still have your physical copy of the game. Yes, they're switching from 2D NAND, which is the technology, to 3D NAND, but this does not mean that the software cannot still read 2D NAND, and maybe if the cartridge is just a bit bigger, Nintendo Switch regular cartridges can still fit Okay, so maybe there is still a hope and a chance that backwards compatibility with all of this evidence of mounting is still a thing and will be a thing moving forward for the Nintendo Switch 2. We can all hope, just because there are so many fantastic games on the Nintendo Switch, more than any console ever in the Nintendo line of consoles, just because this is the console that brought everything together, handheld and mobile, right? Handheld and TV, right? Before Nintendo Switch, we had the 3DS, and then we had the Nintendo Wii U, and we had two separate worlds. We had these two separate worlds the entire time, but for the first time in Nintendo history, we have one console that is both, that has allowed us to get more games in 1 year than any other company out there. Nintendo releases almost one game per month compared to the 1 to 2 games per year that PlayStation and Xbox get out, you know? So we are in a position of privilege, and we are in a position that I think, and I'm almost kind of sure, yes, that backwards compatibility for the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a thing. So I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments, and let me know, is backwards compatibility for you a thing? I know for a lot of people it is, but hey, there are other people that they don't mind. They'll just buy the next console and move forward, right? It's just easy because they'll still have the Switch, and they'll just buy the next console when they want to buy new games. That's how it is. If you want to play PlayStation games, you buy a PlayStation. You can't play them on a Nintendo Switch. If you want to buy an Xbox, then you have to buy an Xbox to get those games. So for some people, I understand that this subject is not a big deal. Alright, my friend, that is going to do it for this episode of Odyssey News. If you find value in this video, please hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 50K, and we will be giving away another Nintendo Switch OLED, or Lite, or whatever you choose. And of course, we'll see you in the next amazing adventure here at the Odyssey. But before I let you go, I tell you 2 important things I need to let you know. Number 1, never give up. And number 2, journey on. Peace.
Welcome to the Odyssey. Hit the like, press play. You're running with the squad like Xenoblade. Drive like Mario, we on a new wave. Never slow down, winners don't need no brakes. And we